All right, so I'm thrilled that you guys want to learn how to make lotion, and it's so easy to make, so customizable, and very few ingredients. So let's get started. All right, so as far as tools, we need a scale. We're going to need 2 separate containers and an immersion blender. All right, so we're going to take our first container, our scale, and we want it to grams because grams just measure out better. So we're going to start out with 187 grams of distilled water. Never use tap water. There's too many chemicals in tap water. So 187 grams. All right, so 4.5 grams of glycerin. We'll mix that up and then we're done. Move that aside and we're going to get our next container. Now that was our water phase. Now we're going to our oil phase. Okay, zero out our scale again, and we want 23 grams of coconut oil. Now this is another part that's customizable. I'm using coconut oil, but you can actually use whatever oil you want. All right, so 23 grams of this. Go very slow. All right, we're going to zero this out, and now I'm switching to my emulsifier. Emulsifiers are like these tiny little beads this is what combines water and oil together. So we need 11 grams of the emulsifier. Okay, so right here, 4 ingredients right here. Now with your water phase, you could use a tea, you could use goat's milk, you could use half water, half aloe, like real aloe from the plant. Then your oil phase, you don't have to use coconut oil. You can use jojoba oil or shea butter. There's so many things you could do to customize your water phase and your oil phase. All right, so I'm going to pop this in the microwave to melt this. So I want these waxes and oil completely melted and combined, and I want to heat my water up to close to the same temperature as my oils. All right, now that our oils are melted, as you can see, I am going to pour my water into the oils, and look at how white it gets. So right there is our lotion. Now we're going to take our immersion blender. So we want to blend this up and get it fully incorporated. So all that is left is we're going to let this sit and cool. And as it cools, it hardens. We're going to come in with our immersion blender and blend it up every so often just to keep it consistent all throughout, and it helps cool it down faster. And then we will add our preservative. This has to be at least 100 degrees, like where you could touch it, before we add our preservative, because preservative and vitamin E oil are very sensitive, and you do not want to burn off your preservative. All right, so as our lotion is cooling, let's talk about where you can get the ingredients. Now, water, distilled water, you can get anywhere. You can go to your Walmart or grocery store, get distilled water. Hobby Lobby has a vegetable glycerin, and you can order it on Amazon. I would suggest Amazon because you're going to have to use Amazon for your emulsifying waxes. The search bar, an emulsifying wax for lotions, and it'll pull up plenty of options. So your emulsifier, you definitely have to get your preservative on Amazon. So if you get your glycerin, emulsifying wax, coconut oil, you could get at the grocery store. But if you want to use a different oil, then you could purchase your oil on Amazon. So coconut water or coconut oil and water at your grocery store, and then Amazon, look for the lotion emulsifying wax and preservative and vitamin E oil. So those are, because we did 5 ingredients. So far we only have 4 ingredients that we made up, but we have to add our preservative and vitamin E oil. So this recipe shows 6 ingredients, very customizable. You could use whatever water you want. Make a tea and use that as your water. Use goat's milk as your water. Use coconut milk as your water. Like, you could completely switch up your water. Now this gives you an 8-ounce container. So you don't want to go over 187 grams. So whatever you want to switch up your water, half goat milk, half coconut milk, don't go over 187 grams. Now, glycerin is great because it's a humectant. It helps draw moisture to the skin. But if you don't want to use glycerin or don't have it, use honey. Honey is also humectant, and honey is great, has so many benefits. Just get a good honey, a local honey. Your coconut oil, you could use whatever oil you want. So I'm just waiting for this to cool, and then we will add our preservative and vitamin E oil to it. Now it's time to add our preservative. We want 2.5 grams of preservative and 2.5 grams of vitamin E oil. We'll combine that very well. A good preservative, when you're looking on Amazon, is Optifen Plus or Germol Plus. And this makes a great hand lotion, overall body lotion.